Brewers week in review. Coming down to it. We are coming down to it. We talked about the Rangers series last week. Let's brush that under the rug. That didn't happen. Rangers playing for a lot. Brewers really not playing for that much in that series, if we're being honest. We talked about the first game in the Cardinals series. Brewers win. We beat the Cardinals. Good work. The second game of the Cardinals series last week, if you were paying attention, that was the game. Okay, that was the one. Let's talk about it a little bit. I realize I've been very pessimistic the last couple weeks about the Brewers, and I've tried to qualify all my doubts with I realize this is unfair. I should give the Brewers the benefit of the doubt. Whatever. I haven't. I've been very concerned about the offense. I've been worried for how this team is going to look going into the postseason because it's always the issue with this team where they look so good, so good, so good. Wild card series, it's over. That's been the formula, essentially, for years. Since 2018, since the Brewers won a playoff series. 2018, which, sorry if you can hear my cat meowing. 2018 doesn't feel that long ago. That was 7 years ago. 7 years. I was 17. Anyways, Brewers were in a huge hole in this game, deep in the hole. I believe they got down like 8-1 at one point, and I'm not gonna lie, I turned the game off. I was watching, I turned it off. I was like, whatever. We won last night, but this is gonna make 4 out of 5. The Brewers are kind of going in the wrong direction. The offense looks like it needs a jolt. Like this is gonna be a tough one to swallow. I turned the game off. I get a notification right as I'm about to go to bed. I live on the East Coast. So, it was late when the game finally ended, and I was like, 9-8. What the hell happened? We won? And I go back through the box score, I start checking some of the highlights, and I was like, what? Right as I turn the game off, boom. The offense explodes. Monasterio finishes it off, and boy oh boy, if there was an award for like MVP, but for a guy that's obviously not the MVP, I don't know what you would call it. Maybe like who's a guy that is just like maybe the Howie Kendrick Award. Monasterio gets it this year. I think across all of Major League Baseball, there has not been a more Howie Kendrick player this year than Monasterio. Maybe I'm the only person in the world that understands what I'm trying to say there, but fuck me. And Monasterio should have a Brewers statue if they make a deep run in the postseason this year. Like he should get a statue outside the stadium, and nobody should ever wear the number 14 ever again. Because what he has seemingly meant to this team from somebody who is not involved with the team whatsoever is invaluable. He's been, I don't know, like ultimate glue guy, like all those cliches. That's orange, by the way. All those cliches about like locker room guy, like energy player, like willing to come in and do whatever it takes to help the team win. Like that's been him this year to a T, to an absolute T. He has been fantastic, and I'm glad that he had yet another moment where everybody could collectively kind of be like, let's fucking go, dude. Like, thank you. That's if I saw him in person right now, I would just say thank you. And I would like to shake his hand. So if you see this, Andrew Monasterio, I would like to shake your hand. Thank you for what you've meant to the 2024 Milwaukee 2024 to the 2025 Milwaukee Brewers. Anyways, huge comeback win, and honestly, it was what I needed to see just to like quell my own pessimistic tendencies, right? Like I needed the Brewers to make a statement so that I would stop feeling this dread for the postseason. And you know what? Hats off to them. They delivered. They lost game 3 to the Cardinals, 3-2. It happens. You took 2 out of 3 in the division after you got swept. Like, They did get swept the series before, but a lot of the losses that the Brewers have had recently are kind of like are kind of coming full circle. And what I mean by that is like you lost 2 out of 3 to the Diamondbacks a couple weeks ago. Diamondbacks are sneakily like hot as can be right now. They're only a game and a half back of a wild card spot after they were like essentially out of it. Like they sold hard at the deadline. Naylor, Suarez, Kelly, Shelby Miller was a Brewer from the Diamondbacks. Like they sold anybody with any like tangible value, and now they're the only team hotter than them in the majors right now is the Mariners. Like the Rangers had everything to play for in that series against the Brewers. The Brewers, honestly, like maybe the Phillies could still come in and get the number 1 seed, but the Brewers basically have a bye locked up in the playoffs. Like it would take a lot for them to drop out of one of those top 2 seeds. The Cubs just this afternoon clinched a postseason spot, but like they're with their win today, the Brewers haven't played yet. They're 4.5 games back with 11 to play. Like it would be a monumental collapse from the Brewers for them to not win the division. Knock on wood. But um, they've pretty much got a bye locked up if all things stay reasonable. So there's not that much left to like push for. I mean, you can they have to go like 9-3 or something the rest of the way, 8-3, something like 8-3. I think to secure 100 wins, probably not going to happen. Um, I think 97 wins gets you the franchise record for wins in a season. Maybe that's something you want to push for. Maybe that means something to the team. But really, like the regular season's kind of, like winning games now is still good. Obviously, you want to be playing your best ball going into the postseason. The Brewers are going to have a couple days off, more than likely, while the wild card sorts itself out. They can reset their rotation. They can reset their bullpen. Guys are going to rest, and you can set up your starters however you want. You can play the matchups there, obviously, and I plan on doing a video like a Brewers postseason preview, and we can talk through like what things could look like. But really, like I don't know. You took game 1 against the Angels, great. Mike Trout almost hit the milestone homer. I kind of wanted him to. I'm not gonna lie. I grew up, in the era where like when I started watching baseball was kind of the beginning of the like Mike Trout might be the greatest player we've ever seen. And so in my lifetime, with my eyes, he's the best player I've ever seen until Shohei, obviously. But like as far as just like taking the mythic figure of Shohei out and like kind of setting him aside, Mike Trout's the greatest player I've ever seen. So I kind of won't be mad if he gets the homer in this series, if he has a good series. Like go Mike Trout. Like go do it, bud. Like we're rooting for you. But you've got 2 games left against the Angels. You've got Woodruff starting tonight, and you've got Priester going tomorrow. So tomorrow's a win. Quinn Priester's pitching, so the Brewers win. It's that simple. That puts you at 93 wins. Whatever happens tonight happens, and then you've got not that many games left. Like we're really coming down to the end of it. I know this has just again been another rant. Like I haven't been talking about like specific box scores, events, like whatever, but it's kind of just like we're there. The one thing that I think is still kind of up in the air, especially after this week, is what Mizorowski's gonna be for us in the postseason. Right? Like he had that start against the Pirates where I came on here and I talked about it and I was like something clicked. He found something. Chris Hook went out for a mound visit and it seemed like the light flicked back on. That hasn't remained the case. in the last like two starts of his. I think he's I think he's going to be a bullpen weapon in the playoffs. I don't see why you would give him a start in the playoffs. Honestly, I really don't, because you've got like, Priester, Quintana, those, they're not strikeout guys. They're not going to blow you away, but they've been solid. Like, they've been reliable. And honestly, worst case scenario, you send Quintana out there for a start in the postseason, and he gives up 4 runs in the first 2 innings. You can bring in Myers, you can bring in Mizorowski, and hope to get some length out of the bullpen. Like, you've got guys that can go multiple innings. There's no reason to take the boomer bust chance on a Jacob Mizorowski start in the postseason. In my eyes, Peralta and Woodruff have been so solid, so dependable as like real high end guys that I think you go Peralta, Woodruff, and then like depending on the matchup, I think you go Priester or Quintana. Like if it's a lineup with a lot of lefties, like maybe you've got the Phillies, and you've got Schwarber, you've got Harper, you've got, I mean, Stott's not like a guy that you game plan for, but like the Phillies have some imposing lefties. Maybe that's when you want Quintana as your number three. But if you're playing the Mets and Soto's really the only, I mean, Soto, Nimmo, like, I don't know. We'll talk about it in the postseason preview, but I don't think Mizorowski has a spot in the starting rotation for the postseason. He's going to be on the roster because he is just that good. Like I, I don't even want to think about what his stuff is going to look like when he ramps it up for like a 2 inning workload. Like him going out there knowing you've got 2 innings, like just throw your best bullets for 2 innings. Scary to see what that could look like, but yeah, solid week for the Brewers. They've been kind of steadying the ship since that Rangers series, which is all you can really ask of them. A couple more games against the Angels, and um, just not that much to say realistically. Like we're kind of coming down to the wire. We'll see where everything shakes out at the end, but tonight Woodruff goes 7 innings of one hit ball. Yelich hits his 30th homer, and the Brewers win. That's the prediction. As always, go Crew. See you in the next one.